Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is don't do what you don't want to do. Well, I keep thinking about this in the context of my past life, where there was just so many times I felt like I was stuck having to do stuff I didn't want to do. And since I've become a happier man in these later years of my life, I've learned not to do that. I've learned to quickly get out of things I don't want to do. You know, sometimes you get into things and you're experimenting, you're trying, and you don't know that you don't like it until you try it. So that's not really what I'm getting at. You know, you want to be trying and exploring and seeing what other things you might like to get into, but you may find you get into something and it's not really for you, and then in those cases you have to stop doing that, right? Stop doing those things. But I guess I'm saying, you know, when I was in my youth, when I was a kid, high school, college, even after college for a while, and then certainly during my marriage, I felt enormous pressure to do stuff I didn't really want to do, and it never seemed like I had anyone to explain this to. Like, you know, the parents, the teachers, the friends, it was like nobody really understood this concept very well. It was, at that time, I think it was people, you start something and you do it and you never stop. Right? So that I think is a wrong concept that flies in the face of being a happier man, a happier person of any kind. If you do things you don't like, that's going to make you unhappy, not happy. So give that a lot of thought, because the world is kind of set up the opposite. Kind of set up for you to start, once you start something, that you never stop doing it, right? Everybody expects that you're just going to continue even though you really don't like it anymore. I think this part of life, it's a very, very simple way to make your life better by quitting things, by stopping doing things you don't like to do. But it's a very difficult thing to do, because people expect that once you start something, you're going to keep doing it. I would make it a priority to have ways to say no to things, to have kind of reasons to stop doing things, and because just because you start something doesn't mean you should continue it. You know, we kind of get this way with like an over loyalty to some group we're in, to some employer we're working for, to some family commitment, to some whatever responsibility that we've taken on that we just can't seem to get off our back. But the more you can just focus on whatever the thing is that you're doing, this experience, whether it's good for you or bad for you, that's the key. If something you're doing you like, it's enjoyable, it's adding to your life, you see that it's making progress, well, do that, right? Continue. If something you're doing is kind of detracting from your life, it's making you extremely uncomfortable, almost to the point of excessive anxiety, excessive misery, excessive frustration, well, you want to stop doing that. Certainly this was the case with my marriage, and I kind of detail that out in my book, Leave Your Wife, Become a Happier Man, with a 3-step system available on the ahappierman.com website. So let's say a bad marriage, a bad relationship of any kind, you want to quit being involved in that relationship, not try to just tolerate it and deal with it and gut it out. No, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is jettison it, stop being involved with that person, and open up time and energy for something better. Kind of a quick example, back in grade school and high school, I played basketball, and I didn't like playing basketball. I played 7th, 8th grade, freshman, sophomore, junior year, and I finally quit right before the start of my senior year. But the basketball, those 5 winters, just kind of made my whole life suck terribly at that time. There's just a variety of reasons why I hated it so much. But like I said, that was 5 years, kind of 5 wasted years is what I would call that. Now, it wasn't the whole year, right? It was just the basketball season. But basically, I was good at the sport of football, so all fall I was dreading the end of the football season because that would be the start of the basketball season. So the sport I was good at, the sport I loved, football, was kind of ruined. And then basketball came and ruined, every moment of the basketball season for my life during that time. And then spring would come, and there'd be more basketball season was over, but there'd be more basketball related stuff. There'd be leagues, there'd be practices, there'd be pickup games, there'd be a focus on basketball all spring and quite a bit of the summer, and I just hated all that. Basically hated all that. It sucked up enormous amounts of time for something I didn't even want to do. And that was like the microcosm of my life at that time, and even for years after, was this idea of, well, you're playing basketball, you gotta keep playing. Your teammates are expecting it, your coaches are expecting it, your family's expecting you to play, so you gotta play. Well, that idea is totally ridiculous, but it is ever present, and that's why I'm kind of talking about it today, to try to get you to think of it, to give it some thought anyway. You might not be able to totally quit everything you don't like, but I'm at the point where I kind of have. I really can't think of anything. I'm in my kind of late 50s now. I can't think of anything I'm doing that I really don't like. Everything I'm doing, I really like. I've crafted my life this way, and it's working out wonderfully for me. And I would say, if you could give this idea a little bit of thought, you might have a wonderful, happier man life too. All for now.